Hey guys, I'm here with my sister, and we just wanted to talk about something that I keep running into this topic over and over again, and I just kind of want to weigh in on it and see what other people had to say about it, and that is split the check or not. First date, when you first start dating somebody, when you just meet them, you don't really know them necessarily, who pays for the first date? And Timby, I just wanted to get your opinion first before I kind of go on my little rant of what I think.
Okay, this idea about splitting the check and women picking up the check or whatever has been around, not recently, it's been around for at least since the 80s or the mid-80s, and it hasn't really gone very far since then. The debate has basically stayed the same, and here's what I think. I think that, number one, especially if the guy asks you out, he should be prepared to pay. He should be prepared to pay for dinner or for whatever the date entails. If the woman asks the guy out, she should be prepared to pay, but the man should step up and pay anyway, because that shows romanticism, that shows that he's interested, that shows that he wants to be with you, that shows that he's interested in you, and not just, you need to step up and show a little bit more interest and chivalry, at least at first. And that really, so when I was dating, I was always prepared to pay, but I never really wanted to pay at first.
I know.
So I was always ready.
Testing.
You just,
testing
but
the
you kind of, if a man doesn't really step up and take up and pick up that first check, it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
He's really got to have an explanation. He needs to have an explanation for, or something. And then if the explanation goes on too long, and then it's kind of like, okay. So that's just my initial foray into this whole topic, that the man should always be willing to pay, at least for the first date, and usually for the second or the third. Because that just keeps the romance in it. Mm-hmm. It keeps, the woman sort of like the courtship in it. And then as time goes on, especially if she's like, hey, let's go to such and such, then it's like, okay, if you've gotten to know each other over the first 3 weeks to 6 weeks, and it's like, hey, I got it, But the initial thing should be about the courtship, the romance of it.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was, like, if you're bold enough to ask somebody out, you should be bold enough to be ready to pay, regardless if you're the man or the woman. But then the other side to me kicks in, the side that's kind of lived and watched and talked to people and observed over the years, and I'm not sure that I'm a equal opportunity dating. I don't believe in equal opportunity dating, that whole idea kind of thing. Like, I just think, regardless of, for a woman, if it was me, if you're, let me get my thoughts together. So if you're trying to have fun, if I'm trying to have fun on a date, I'm not gonna pay. I don't want to pay. Like, if I'm not serious about the guy, or if he's not, but I'm just trying to have fun, then I'm not going to be paying for that. Like, I would look at that as, okay, you're having fun, I'm having fun, here's, you're going to pay for the date. On the other hand, if I am serious, I'm definitely not going to pay for the first date. Like, so
absolutely not. Whether or not this is somebody that you're serious about or not, at least on the first date, you just want to sit back and
it's about what's the motive. Like, if I'm having fun, or if if he for my company, that's what he gets for my company. That's the price for that.
The price of your company.
Now, if he's somebody that I would want to be more serious with, then I have to set a standard. I have to set the standard for how you're supposed to treat me. Who's gonna be doing what in the relationship? Like, true enough, I may have my own stuff. I may want to, be able to be independent enough. But you, as a man, if you're, in the typical traditional female and male relationships, you have to know what you're doing. You can't be confused and think, oh, well, I don't know what she gonna do. Maybe she's the kind that she got it like that. She got it. I mean, this is the new age. No, it's not a new age. Yeah, it's a new age, and all it's doing is confusing women. It's not really confusing the men. I think the women are getting confused. Like, well, I want to be equal, so I guess I have to be willing to pay. I'm like, no, you be willing to pay if you want to be in control. If you want to run the relationship, if you want to be in control of all the finances all the time, if you want to, if you want to. Just that's where you feel comfortable. But if you want help, if you want the man to still be the man, and you do your own thing, regardless of what that is, he's gonna have to, in my opinion, he would have to take that lead. And this doesn't have to go on forever, for sure. Like, it won't go on forever, but I would say the first 3 to 4 dates.
I think that's reasonable.
That's setting a standard of, okay, look, you know what you're supposed to do. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you can be taking notes on what kind of woman I am if I, just out here just to have a thrill or whatever, or just to get some free dinner. Like, you can be deciding if that's what's going on.
But the man already knows what you got. He knows, just like you know what he's got.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really a big, it's not really a big mystery about what you got, what you have,
What do you mean by what you got?
Meaning, if you have, if you have the job, you have the trappings that come with a good job,
true.
or you're working, true. And you can tell from him too.
Or if are you doing the Instagram, doing the Instagram?
Yeah, you feel somebody out. But so we all know that it's a dance in the beginning anyway. We all know that it's a little bit of a charade.
I use that same word, Timby. Like, that's what dating is. It's a dance. Like, the beginning of dating is a dance, and you really are trying to feel that person out. And you're like, okay, here's my little move. What's your move?
Right. But and so when you want to like throw things for a loop and say, I'm gonna pick up the check now. It's like,
and the man is like, well, okay,
right. So then
I'll deal with that. Great,
yeah,
free for me. But what does his mentality do at that point?
So
like, does he think to step back? Or, well, she got it then. Right. Well, do I open the doors for her too? Like, I don't know. Look, he needs to know exactly what he's supposed to do. And I'm going to tell you what you're going to do without saying it. I'm just going to sit there. And if you don't do anything, that's it. That's our last date. Now, the only time I would
pay in the back washing dishes.
I would pay if I'm sympathy dating. It's like, well, I'm just going, it's like, I don't really want another date. And
why would you do that?
Because sometimes women do that, pity date. Sometimes you just feel bad. You went out for him just because you felt bad.
Then that's stuck in your mind.
And if he didn't offer, you're just like, that's whatever. Let me just get out of here anyways. Let me just take the check here.
Okay, but then I want to throw something else in there. Okay, so in the age of Tinder and all this.
Oh, you know about Tinder.
I do know about Tinder.
Right. I didn't even know about Tinder for a long time.
In the age of, this instant, thing, a lot of times people just meet for drinks.
Yeah.
And there's spots around DC that are known as Tinder spots. And actually,
wow.
Yes, and actually the bartenders hate it because people don't really spend a lot, on alcohol. They just come for their Tinder dates and then they, say okay, or they leave or what. Anyways, so, but what I'm saying is, if you're on a date with somebody that you really just, I can see for drinks. I can see if you kind of like get your drink and he gets his drink and you guys are just talking.
Oh, in the beginning, like what? Even before he got there.
No, I can see if you show up and if you got there and you're waiting for him or whatever. If you just are like, you just want to feel each other out and you really don't know him from Jack. You really don't know anything and you're just showing up for drinks and you're like, all right, this is a $10, $14. Yeah. I'll just, we're just going to see what's what. I can kind of, that'd be my only, like, I can kind of see.
Yeah. I feel very strongly though. Like, it doesn't,
You're like,
no,
even the drink.
No, not that. It's not, that's not what I feel strongly about. No,
as I take a drink.
Really, as in the beginning, it's like, it's not that, like, crucial. Like, if it's not that crucial, like, for drinks. But what I feel strongly about is women just being so confused and thinking, oh wait, okay, I'm independent, I'm strong, I don't want to depend on a man. They think they know what they're doing. And they're out here, I got it, don't worry, I don't need no man, blah, blah, blah. And then the guys see that, but they're capitalizing on that and getting, okay, well, if you expect a man to pay stuff for you, you're just a gold digger and all that. They're just flipping it.
Right.
And they're messing up this whole, no, it hasn't changed in all these years. A man is supposed to know at least just the fundamental, okay, regardless of what she does, you're supposed to know what you're doing. And what you're doing has to be some kind of contribution type thing. Like, now, if you're the type of man that just wants to be domestic and stay at home and maybe not do that, that's fine. And you'll go for a different type of woman, but that usually doesn't tend to be what it is. So for a woman, if you don't want to do everything, if you don't want to be paying and doing the domestic stuff, you need to make sure off the rip, y'all don't have to go to expensive places. No, you can. But just the point of he knows his role.
Right. And
everybody needs to know their role in the relationship from the beginning, because if you don't know your role, you're going to be upset and dissatisfied on down the road. You think, well, I don't have to get to that yet. Yes, you have to get that out the way right away.
Well,
and regardless of whether you're playing around or not, if you're playing around, it doesn't matter what your role is. If it's not serious, I mean, that obviously could turn serious, but it doesn't really matter. So a man just has to decide, obviously the man don't have to pay. But if you're looking for the woman, like, that you're serious about, you know what the deal is. You know what you're supposed to do. And he does know, but he may be telling all you girls or all you ladies, all you women on Facebook groups and just in general, oh, no, man, it's the new age, and she asked me out, she's supposed to pay, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, I get that they're trying to kind of make it seem like they're just throwing us off. And they keep throwing that word gold digger out there, and it's scaring women away from thinking that they're supposed to expect a certain standard. But please don't get confused, because you're going to, I feel like women are hurting themselves by not setting that standard that, okay, regardless of who makes the most money, you still have to know that you're expected to do a certain amount. You're expected to contribute. You're expected to have that role. You're expected not just to sit back and receive. Just because if I make more money, that doesn't mean you sit back and receive and just say, well, she got it. Go ahead, do you. But then you're not going to sit down and clean and cook. You're not going to do that. You're still just going to do you.
Well, no, they can cook, but
they can, but they usually don't.
Courtship. Even if you don't want to take it as far as it could go, even if it's just for, it's about courtship, and we can't lose the courtship in the process.
So what's the courtship?
The courtship is the man stepping up, paying, opening your doors, being chivalrous, doing all those things, and they know when they want to get somebody, that's really what they have to do. And
if they're not doing those things, do you feel like they're serious about that person?
I think that, well, they could not be doing those things for a number of reasons, but they may just not know. I mean, I say that they know before, but when I'm saying they may have not been trained properly or understand the norms, and who are you waiting to?
Somebody said hi.
Oh, okay. But it's about the courtship, and that's what paying is about. That's why we have this whole idea of pay or not pay. It's about the courtship, and courtship is about the women attract and the men hunt. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of people who are just like, oh,
It still
The
hasn't
men
changed,
hunt and the
though.
women attract. You're supposed to attract.
Oh,
And
Lord.
so
And if the
therefore,
women are hunting, that's when it gets
if
thrown off.
you attract, then you're supposed to sit there and let them do
Exactly.
the work of the hunting and let them do all what they're supposed to do, and then you sit there and you be attractive and you attract.
Yeah. But you don't just sit there.
Yes, you do.
It's not that you're just sitting there. You're making mental notes.
Well, of course. I'm
You're-
not saying
you're
but
basically
sitting there and
grading.
but you're letting them do.
Yeah, because
the
that's how it
work.
works in the animal kingdom. The female never does the work. The man dances. He gets all elaborate. The male, the butterfly, whatever, the
That's
peacock,
courtship.
he gets all.
That's what I'm talking
He's
about.
doing a dance,
And so-
he gets all
and so
elaborate, and the
that's what-
female's like,
And that's what paying is.
okay, let's see what you're doing over here.
Right.
Okay, no thanks. What
And
about
that's
over
what
here?
paying is.
And that's kind of how the animal kingdom kind of works. And humans, it tends to work like that for us too. And when we try to switch it up and then the women do all the flashy stuff, yeah, she's going to get a lot of males interested. But is she going to get the kind of males interested in her that are worth a damn? I personally don't think so. So if you're doing all this hunting and you're calling the guys and you're paying for stuff and you're putting in most of the work, I think as a female it's not as, you're not going to be as happy. You're not going to get as much of what you want in the situation. Now you may get a man because you're going to attract those guys that really didn't want to do much in the first place. They want to be taken care of. They just kind of want to be, do what they want to do, and they see that, oh, well, she's taking the lead, so I'm and this has nothing to do with your voice in the relationship or anything on down the line. This is just general, like, preliminary setting the roles and setting the expectations, and it can start as early as who's paying for the first dinner, at least dinner, dinner, drinks, whatever. I can't comment on drinks.
There's a little bit of leeway.
I can't comment on drinks, but dinner.
But dinner, yes, that's a little bit more substantial.
That's a man's.
Yes, that's
his responsibility. If he's like, oh well, I'm a student. I don't really have a whole. It doesn't matter. You can be creative. You can cook.
You can go out for a picnic.
But if you're going out,
get creative.
But if you're going out, then yeah, you just need to understand. I mean, and you know it. You know what your role is because you would never look another man in the eye and be like, yeah, I don't have no money and I expect the girls to still just love me. No, men know what it is. They know that they're supposed to at least put forth that ability and show that ability in the beginning. And regardless, of course, after y'all been dating for a couple months, maybe 2 months, of course, at that point, I personally like, let's do this, and I would pay, and I would kick in, and I would do some things, and I would kind of see how invested he is in me, and that would make me more willing to like part with. Because really? A woman already wants to, she already wants to just love on her man and do things for him. I feel like she wants to appreciate him. But don't give him that appreciation date, like for the second date. Oh, you took me out, I got you the next date. Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. You at least wait to the 4th or 5th. Or no, the 5th, the 5th or 6th date. And then do an appreciation for all those nice dates you took me out on. Here, I'm going to take you out and I'm going to treat you. But don't do it before then. Because he may get a little confused and think, I'm not going to step on any toes. I'll let you do it then. And it's like, no. It's still, you still have to, it's a mentality you're training in them, So this is just a little preliminary conversation on just topics that,
What?
I think in the bottom.
Well, I've been like this the whole time. So
it's all right.
Hey,
So, this is a little preliminary, just chopping it up. I'm so glad my sister's in town. So I'm so glad she was able to talk with me and relate with you guys. And I'm going to be, doing it more and more and more. So if you want to tune in, I will start advertising when I'll be doing it, when I'll be having more of these kinds of discussions. And I would love, whether you're live side with me or not. I would love for you to, comment if you have any comments. Everybody's always entitled to their own opinion. Of course, that's one thing we all know. Everyone's got an opinion, and that's fine. This is not anything for people to like, hey, Marisol. Oh my gosh. Oh, yes.
I couldn't.
I know you. When you go back and look at what we just talked about, you'll be like, yep, that's what I did, and I will be getting married in June. So, and that will be a very prosperous union because everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing. So, again,
There's a comment.
it's sideways. If who pays is important on the first date, then it says if who pays is important on the first date, then most likely the attraction wasn't mutual. One person most likely feels like they're doing the other a favor by being there. If who pays is important on the first date. Oh no, it's important. It's important. No, the attraction is to get you on the date in the first place. That's the attraction part. So who pays is extremely important. I mean, I understand that there's a lot of chaos going on out here right now, currently. Everyone's confused, and the guys and the girl thinking, oh, we shouldn't judge based on that. But I think that is kind of the problem. It's like, it's not about, sometimes you think, oh, it's being superficial, or it's not that. It's everybody knowing where they are in the relationship and how, and especially for a woman, because women really need to understand that they need to be able to get what they want from the man that they're interested from. Now, if they're just having fun, it's up to him. It's up to the man to decide if he wants to continue having fun with you. Like, he doesn't have to do anything at that point. He could just be like, I'm not paying. And you could just be like, okay, you decide at that point whether you want to be bothered or not. But if it's a date where you're really trying to make it into something, I think a woman, from a woman's perspective, a woman needs to start training and setting up a standard for that man in the beginning. And that's all it's about. Because most likely she could pay with no problem and she wouldn't mind doing it. It's not about minding it. It's not about, oh, it's superficial, or it shouldn't matter. No, it matters.
It matters.
It
matters like labels matter. Like, nobody wants to put a label on anything before you're ready, because we all know that labels matter. And paying matters because we all want to know, it's like, okay, where, are we just being friends hanging out? Because if we're just friends hanging out,
exactly,
then I don't mind paying. But if we're not friends hanging out, then you need to be paying because you're courting me now. Mm-hmm. You're trying to show interest now. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's important. And believe me, I understand, there's a big payoff to having all the confusion.
Yeah,
there's a big payoff
for the men. It's not
for the
payoff
men
for the
to keep things ambiguous,
exactly,
to keep things unlabeled,
mm-hmm,
to keep things
we're all equal now.
Yeah, there's a big payoff for the man to keep things like, okay, this is sort of not the way this is not the way it is. We're just hanging out. We just want to see how we like each other. And there's a big payoff for him because then he's free to just come and go as he pleases. And for most women, I would have to say, most women that I know and most women that my sister knows, we go along with that ambiguity because for whatever reason we feel like, we've come so far, we should be able to, deal with that ambiguity. And it's not, but believe me, it makes a difference. The ambiguity in our minds is, unless we just want to be out here playing the game too, most women, from what I understand, don't want to be out there just floundering like, oh, whoever comes in, whoever doesn't, fine. But we don't want to be in an ambiguous situation. Mm-hmm. And paying kind of keeps it from either being an ambiguous, or paying kind of establishes what the situation is. I'm sorry, money is important that way. And we don't want to talk about it, so let's not talk about it. How about, keep the ambiguity from creeping in.
Yeah. So to the ladies, I think we're just being told all kinds of things, and it's my mission in life. I've got a new mission in life. My new mission in life is to get us back focused on what we're supposed to be doing. Because I understand there's a lot of crazy women out here. There's a lot of fake women. There's a lot of users. I get that. And I get that a lot of guys go through dealing with those type of women. But what I keep running into are those women who are such good women, and they're just getting they're caught up completely abused.
Right. They're caught up in this ambiguous situation. They're just getting, every man has
they're not getting what they want.
No,
they're not getting what they want out of dating. They're not getting
men
anything
have
out of
decided
relationship.
that, well, let's try to stretch this out for as long as it can go.
I don't see that problem with men. I do see men, a lot of times they're upset, but they're pretty much getting what they want. As long as they're having sex, they're getting what they want. But a woman is not getting what she wants just because she's having sex. She's not. She's maybe using that to try to get other things she wants, but she's not getting what she wants. So nobody's speaking up. No, I'm not going to say no one's speaking up for the woman. I'm saying nobody has a clear message for her. And, you might have it like Steve Harvey and some other males are trying to speak up and say things, but I think you need to hear it from a woman, and a woman who's used to, who's been around men who are doing what they're supposed to, men who are still married to the woman that they're with, that have been with their woman for 10 or more years. I talk to those men. Right. I'm around those kinds of men,
and what they have
exactly
is always the same.
The man pays.
Right.
And what man would want his daughter going out with a guy who's like, well, what you gonna do? No, he wouldn't even think of that, because he knows for sure in his mind what a real man's supposed to be doing. So, sorry, I understand this may step on some toes, because there's so much, diversity in the world. There's so much diversity today, and so many different types of relationships and different ways of partnering, and obviously this is mainly just talking about straight relationships basically, but hopefully, I think also in non-straight relationships there's still role playing going on, so they still have to figure out who's playing what role. But for the straight relationships, the only ones I can speak from, unless I just want to be the person who's doing it all, like I'm doing it, I'm controlling it, I bring in most money, I tell him what to do. I love just having control, and he sits back and just kind of receives. And unless that's what I want from the outset, then no, I can't start a precedent where he thinks, and then the whole split 50-50. Oh, we're just going to split everything 50-50. No, we can't split it all 50-50, because when you actually get living with a guy, and if it's kids involved, it's never going to be 50-50. It's always going to be like 70-30 on the woman.
100.
No, it's 70-30 on the woman. It's like the woman is going to be doing most of the stuff, because she's going to be doing the house. She's going to be having to take care of the kids. And she's probably working.
No, that's a whole different conversation. That's a different conversation.
Yeah, that's true. But it all bleeds into each other. And I want to get you guys engaged. And if we get to those topics, I actually need to think about what the next topic is going to be. Okay. Because this is kind of supposed to lead into the next topic. Yeah, this is setting up. So what is the next topic? What are we saying?
Okay. Well, I may not be here.
No, that's fine.
What is 50-50? What does that mean?
In the relationship?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. That makes sense.
All right.
So, okay. We're gonna wrap it up. Because I know we don't have all day. No, you guys don't have all day either. But I appreciate anybody. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you guys joining in and tuning in, and anybody who's even not live for watching. If you didn't watch it live, I appreciate that too, and for commenting and supporting. I'm completely new at this. I've never done this before, so I don't know if the butterflies showed or not. This is totally kind of outside of what I typically do, but that's okay, because that's what I'm
You did
about.
Great.
That's what I'm doing, and I'm stepping out, and I'm going to be doing more and more of this kind of thing, because I do want to start a conversation, but not just talk about it and debate and argue and fight with men. I want also to start helping us learn new behaviors and new thought processes so that we can have happy relationships. Not relationships, happy relationships. If you're happy in your relationship at 7 years, you did something's going right. You've done something right. And people need to kind of need to get that, because we don't really know anymore. There's just so much information. There's so many reality shows. There's so many relationship things. There's so many advice channels, books on dating.
Okay.
Let's hear from the people. Let's hear from how to be happy. Let's just hear about how to be happy like 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. How the heck do we get to that point? So we're starting off with how to set that precedent from the first date.
Okay.
Let's set that precedent from the first date. Okay. So, anyways, thank you guys. And see you next time.